Welcome back. You're watching Newslink. Now, the DA is calling for the Health Minister to recoup all the money spent on digital vibes. It comes after the sanctioning of officials involved in the 150 million rand scandal. The party says that the sanctions were too lenient. Anban, Pillay and Popo Maja were given final warnings and salary demotions, while Shireen Pardesi escaped sanction by resigning. Let's get more from DA Shadow Health Minister Michele Clarke. Thank you very much for your time this morning, Michele. I mean, we see this kind of lenient action across various departments or state-owned entities in the country. A slap on the wrist, a final written warning here, but there's never any solid action that sends a strong message to anyone else who is within the government and is thinking of stealing taxpayer money.
Yes, thank you very much for having me on your show, and good morning to your listeners. It's a huge issue that we that we are battling with in terms of what's happened, and just in terms of this contract in itself. I mean, to get a slap on the wrist, 3 months no pay, and then go back to your job just on a lower ranking paying scale, which in itself is not a small salary at all. These officials are paid extremely high salaries. I mean, we've written to the Health Minister to say the 152 million rand must be recouped from Dr. Pillay, Maja and Pardesi. We feel that, this is why fraud and corruption is so easy to commit within government, because there's just never real action steps taken. And if you read the SIU report, it actually says that Pillay should be criminally charged, which is not happening. So, 152 million rand could serve to fix up the health care that we have in this country. And state health care is really on life support at the moment. We've got huge shortages of doctors and nurses. And I mean, I visit hospitals almost on a daily basis, and I can tell you some nightmare stories going on. That money could assist in order to make sure that we upgrade some of our facilities. And therefore, if the Health Minister does not act on the letter we will send to him, we will go and lay criminal charges at the police station around this matter, because it's time that governments start taking harsh action against people that commit fraud and corruption. It's far too easy for them to do that and just get away with it. Or then they are recycled into other positions, and protected. And if you read that report, you will see that Mr. Maja actually changed his scoring on the tender adjudication process in order to ensure that Digital Vibes got the contract, because the company that also tendered, and I'm not going to name the company because I don't know if that would be good to do that, but they came in at 69 million, nearly 100 million rand cheaper to what the original contract was, and the scoring was changed so that Digital Vibes got the contract. So, this kind of stuff has to stop. I mean, we just look at Eskom, we look at Denel, Alex Score, SAA and what's happened, and very, very little action taken against people that commit these kind of crimes, just get away with it. And we feel that that's why cadre deployment in terms of the ANC needs to stop, because, these officials are protected by the ANC.
And that's where the problem lies, along the fact that we always complain that there are not enough resources to carry through a lot of these investigations and prosecutions. And sadly, this is probably one of the biggest reasons we never recoup the monies that have been stolen by these corrupt officials. But what would you say is one of the biggest things, apart from cadre deployment, that is holding us back from holding these officials accountable? Cadre deployment is a big one, but surely there are other elements, because it cannot be that for over a decade, so much has been uncovered in terms of corruption in the country, and very few people have been held to account?
Well, it's a political will in order to ensure that this happens. If you don't have the political will in place to ensure that this happens and that officials are continually protected, you're never ever going to fix this. And I can tell you, 2024 is coming, and we're going to see a real change in this country, because you need a government that holds people accountable, and that's just not happening. I mean, even the NHI that government want to pass as the bill in Parliament now, if you look at that bill and you look at the powers the minister possesses within that bill, Parliament plays no oversight role in terms of the NHI. And you're talking about billions of rands that will yet be another SOE that's going to be mismanaged, and corruption within the way the NHI funding is going to manage. I mean, you just look at their pilot projects and none of those succeeded. So, I'm very concerned about the taxpayer having to dock up more funding once again for a system that's going to be put in place that's not going to be managed, and the outcomes are not going to be for the people of South Africa for quality healthcare, but lining officials' pockets. And, there must be that political will in order to make sure that fraud and corruption is curbed, and that real prosecutions take place, and that people are put into jail, and serve sentences for these crimes that they commit. Otherwise, abatedly, it will just continue.
So you've indicated that you will be sending a formal letter to the minister about the steps that should be taken to deal with the officials that have been named in the SIU report, and that if the minister does not act on it, you're going to be laying charges as a party yourselves. Who exactly are these charges going to be against, and how much time are you giving the minister to respond?
So we will give the minister, a 10-day period to respond. We will also request that the SIU report come to the Health Committee to look at, because we have not got that report at the Health Committee as yet, so that we can interrogate that report and see exactly what steps need to be taken in terms of going to lay charges, if no action comes from our recommendations at the committee as well.